Good morning, evening, afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and other, um, wherever you are in the world. I hope you've been having a great weekend. Actually, well, weekend because that's when we're recording this, but a great week because that's when you'll be listening to it. And I hope that you have a lovely, restful, fun, active, whatever you like, weekend planned. And if you're just trying to be boring and sleep, boring is good. Please enjoy yourself. If you're trying to be fun and go out to the clubs, shake your bum, do something cute, also good. Great stuff. This is a low vibrational episode because I have a migraine and Bankole is also quite not in the mood. But
Don't
because we
speak
love
for
you
me.
guys, we
Don't speak on my
just
behalf.
always get up and just get stuff going. So welcome to yet another episode in the wilderness. A lot of fun stuff happened this episode. Surprising some, not so surprising others. A growing disdain for Shauna. But yeah, let's get into it. Bankole, shall we?
Okay, let's get into it. Pepper.
I'm ready. Get
No,
into
but
it.
you're like sure. You're not like
Yeah, warm up. I told them already this is a low vibrational episode, guys. Come on. Like, we give you energy all the time. And sometimes when we're on 20%, we need you to go crazy in the comments with a good, like, 80%. So this is one of those episodes where you have to meet us where we are. Yeah. So carry on.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I just really wanted to do that because I knew you'd start over. I promise I'll be quiet.
Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. And welcome to another first day of snow. Today we're talking about the penultimate episode of season 3 of Yellowjackets, season 3, episode 9. And it's a sad one. It's a sad one. We said goodbye to a couple people, so we're gonna be like, I'm gonna be a bit mellow. Maybe I'd forgotten. So joining me on this episode to mourn, to remember, which is the leader of Team Crazy. Guys, welcome back to Dumebi.
Oh, I forgot.
So what's this for you? You're actually not serious. If there's anyone who's not watching on Spotify or YouTube, please look at the video to see Dumebi's reaction.
You take feedback. I love it.
Okay. I tried to make the intro as low vibrational as possible so that it could be a stark contrast to the audience coming in. I wanted to see your real reaction.
Oh, gosh. Oh, that was so lovely. Thank you. See how I'm even blushing? But honestly, I actually forgot that we lost someone in this episode.
Yeah, don't worry.
I forgot. Like, I remembered all the other things and I forgot that. So as you said it, my heart sunk in anger. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, we're going to get to all of it, trust me. And it's kind of why I'm saving all of them. I'm saving all of that to the end. We're going to start with the 1997 storyline. But this is the penultimate episode of Yellowjackets. We'll be back next week for the finale. Speaking of finales, White Lotus is wrapping up as well. So please check our coverage on that. Another 8 weeks we spent on that show as well. Severance is wrapped up. I joined Chindy and ABB to talk about the season as a whole. We kind of give our thoughts on the season, some things that worked, some things that maybe didn't work. So you can check that out as well. Okay, we're talking about Yellowjackets season 3, episode 9, How This Story Ends, written by Sarah L. Thompson and directed by Ben Semenoff. Let's start with 1997, shall we? I'll just kind of run through the things that kind of happen and we can talk about it because it's kind of a real, apart from some branching storylines, everything was kind of following one linear story here. But one of those branching storylines is Travis's storyline. He's angry with Lottie. He says that, quote unquote, it's bullshit. She's bullshit. She's ruining everything for all of them. So he's created the pit that we saw at the beginning of the show. So Travis was the one that created the pit. He tries to lure Lottie into it so that she can like basically fall to her death. But she walks on it like Jesus walks on water or walked on water. What did you think of this whole Travis thing? I mean, you
I
frowned your
think
face,
she
but
already.
that is the exact
I
implication.
didn't. I didn't really love that comparison. Being
I
a
mean, that
Catholic
is
girl in Lent,
yeah,
I
but
get
that is the
it, but
implication. That is the point of the
I know,
imagery.
but I don't like it. I thought that was really interesting because from when he tried to lure her, she already knew what was happening.
I got that impression as well. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Oh, she was at
already
least
knew to.
suspicious.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And also, what was the muttering? Was it Travis that was muttering, or was it the wilderness muttering to her? I heard some like voices, noises, just
It's
around when she was on.
probably what's in her head, what she's hearing.
Mm,
I mean,
but yeah,
he was quite, when she
I
was kind of working on it, he was a bit kind of like, what's going on, and kind of like
yes,
surprised in his own head. Like, I think he
mm-hmm,
was muttering some stuff here, but I think she was hearing kind of like the wind and like some voices.
yeah.
Yes.
I also found that it was interesting how she kind of took power back in that episode and how she made him emotional again. Speaking about his brother, I forget his name.
Yeah, but that's a cheat code though. If I like,
Yeah, it is a
if I
cheat
mention
code
your
for
dead
sure.
brother that died like under
Yeah,
very
no,
terrible
for
circumstances, you
sure.
get emotional.
But the fact that, for sure, but the fact that she was just able to do that in the right moment, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
also could see him second guessing, like he actually didn't want to harm her.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I don't know. I didn't think that was the most like exciting or significant part of the episode. I was just like, oh, okay, well, he tried to do this,
It
and
wasn't. That's why I just mentioned it quickly. I mean,
yeah,
I think the interesting thing is that
I don't really have
Travis
much
was
to
one
say
that.
about it. Except
Yeah, I
maybe I
think
guess the wind, the not the wind, the wilderness is protecting her.
yeah. I mean, it goes back to the thing of like, I think it all just goes to the whole funnel of is there something going on here, but also just the fact that Travis was the one that created this pit has that was like the first
I
real
actually thought,
iconography that we thought about
yeah,
the wilderness in the show.
sorry,
Yeah, what are you gonna
one
say?
second though. I thought that he was actually going to tell her that he had been faking everything.
Well, I
I was hoping
understand.
that he would eventually say that to her, but clearly he chickened out.
I don't think he. I mean, there's no real. I
Because he
think
said it to
because
Akila, right?
yeah, but he said it's Akila to kind of like shake some sense into her. It's kind of like we need to go. Like this is all fake. I don't think there's any shaking sense into Lottie. And even at the beginning, when they're all kind of doing their standoff, he directly speaks at her and is like, "We've been in hell. You don't have a right to keep us here." So you can tell that his real anger was with her, um, which is interesting in the larger sense because we do know that he comes back to Lottie. He comes back to Lottie's teachings because when he dies, she's the one he calls. So it's kind of like, well, what is this kind of? What is the shape of their story that keeps bringing them back to
What do
each
you
other?
think this? Okay, sorry, I have a lot to say in the adult storyline, so I think we need
Yeah,
to
we'll get to
wrap up
that. We'll get to that. Well,
the Yellow Jacket
yes,
storyline
we'll get to the
quickly.
adult storyline. There is time. Um, Back at the camp, the factions are beginning to form as we kind of theorized. We thought that this was, I think I mentioned in episode 7 that this was kind of the thing that would start creating the factions. There's like people that want to go, people that don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shauna and Melissa have an explosive, quite public breakup, and Melissa switches sides.
Mm-hmm.
Nat and her group tried to come up with a plan to free Hannah and Cody so that they could take them to the rescue point.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shauna catches Hannah and Cody. And first of all, I'm just give a quick shout out and a sorry to Miss McKay, who's a YouTube commenter who put a very elaborate and detailed Cody theory on one of
Mm-hmm.
our videos. Unfortunately, that's
Oh, shout
been
out to you.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that has been proven wrong in this episode. Um,
Thanks for trying, though. Come back again
yeah,
next time.
yeah. I mean, we enjoy the interactions and the engagement.
Yes.
So yeah, what did you think in that moment when Hannah plants the knife directly in Cody's right eye? Um,
She wants to see her baby, man, and she wasn't gonna die because she was like, I hear something. And obviously, being an obnoxious, arrogant man who thinks he knows everything and is best in wilderness, he said, no, no, they're sleeping. Let's go. Hoo, 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 hoo. And then Shauna
I
catches
didn't
him.
actually even consider that. You're right. I forgot like
Yeah.
that whole part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just thought, I literally immediately, she said, wait, I think I can hear something or something. And he goes, nah, I think they're sleeping. I literally just hissed and said, stupid idiots. Because, like, just in typical, like,
Man.
man, arrogance, but still stupid way. Oh, it's time to go. Let's go. Oh, king of the jungle, zero strategy, just all muscle and movement. And that is what I got from just that single interaction. And
Yeah.
that is why he died. Because she was like, nah, this guy is going to get me killed before time. I mean, she's probably still going to get killed anyway, but the fact that, like,
She is.
she's at least bought a few
I thought
a
it
few
was a
days.
very smart thing to do
Yeah.
because on one hand, it kind of ingratiates yourself to Shona and to the group because they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she's
Mm-hmm.
willing to do this and she's one of us. But also legally, now they know she can't really go report them. Like if they
Exactly.
were to escape, because like
Because she too has dirty hands.
exactly. And I don't know if I was Hannah, I'd just be like, okay, guys, look, I just killed this man, meaning I can't report you. Can we all just go home now? Like, we don't have to stay
No,
here and do whatever you need
no.
to do.
Shona will not trust her.
Yeah, she wouldn't, but like, it's just, why not? She just killed a man.
Shona will not trust her, and everybody else is not bold enough to stand up to Shona fully and entirely yet. The fact that she's one versus all of them, and for whatever reason they cannot subdue her, is crazy.
Let's talk about that. Were you surprised as to how, like, I don't know, how easy everyone fell in line?
No, they're afraid of her because she's a crazy bitch.
If you were in that
And she has
position,
the gun.
but she did not at first, but thinking about yourself at that age in that position, what would you have fallen in line? Would you have spoken up?
Is somebody about to kill me?
No, not
What
about to
am I
kill you, but
speaking up
when
for?
you want to go home and then Shauna is like, no, we're all staying.
When no, I would have spoken up then during that
That
standoff where everybody was,
that's what I'm talking
the way
about.
Van spoke up, I would have spoken up like that, I think. But if it was just me that is supposed to lead the pack and standing up with a vicious, dangerous bitch, I would definitely not be doing any of that. I will just fall in line, dear.
Yeah, I think the Shauna and Melissa scene is like kind of more of the I think the fact that she's able to do that in front of everybody and everybody can see everybody's reactions. Everybody's like, Shauna, what are you doing? Like some things
Like
she
with
says to
Melissa,
Melissa,
that was
yeah,
just fucking ridiculous. That was fucking ridiculous. And the fact that nobody stabbed her or shot the arrow thing at her is crazy to me. And like, I love how Melissa reacted. I
mm-hmm,
really loved it. I thought it was really, really good. But I also hate the fact that she pissed her pants. And so Van had to like, there was just a lot because it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why can't you actually just be a nice person? Which is so crazy because I mean, Melissa likes her power and had this, or maybe thinking about it now, maybe she didn't like her power and whatever. It was just her strategy to like align herself with the most powerful villain so that she's in a way protected. Um,
mm-hmm,
from things, maybe she's just a horny fucking teenager. Because I mean, that was also part of the joke that she cracked. Like, I was a horny
yeah,
teenager, and I think aside from Van and Thaisa, she was the other person that was actually gay. So she was like, trying to get some. Um, and I say gay because it seems like Shauna was kind of there just based on the circumstances and the situation, as opposed to actually that being her orientation. Um, but obviously I don't know for a fact, so just speculating here. So I don't know. I just thought that when she was just like, you could just see that she was really hurt and she just felt like
mm-hmm,
this is just unnecessary meanness. And I feel like we've been they've been preparing us for this side of Melissa, because if you've seen how Melissa has reacted to Shauna's last few decisions, or how Shauna behaved in the last few episodes, you could see like hesitation,
Mm-hmm.
flinching, like she's not
Mm-hmm.
really falling in line completely, but she just feels like, oh, okay, well, I have to be loyal because, well, I've chosen to stand by this babe. So, but then when she's just going crazy because of a giggle, I mean, come on, and fuck off. It just again reinforces the fact that like Shauna cannot be alone. So every small thing makes her feel threatened and insecure. And I think that goes back to speak about her relationship with Jackie. I don't actually know that she really loved Jackie. I think she just liked that Jackie was popular and Jackie gave her street cred and she could just be with Jackie. And that's why she could do the awful thing that she did to Jackie with Jeff, and then, just continue with the whole thing after and let her friend die outside in the cold. That said, I just also thought it was ridiculous that she actually shot the gun at Melissa, because what the fuck? Like, sure, you shot
Mm-hmm.
it at your aunt, but look at her stupid like smirk after. Do you get what I mean? Because because they said she's really crazy, but she is. She was crazy then, she's crazy now. And I actually thought that maybe, I mean, to be honest, I still think that losing her baby in the way that she did made her crazy. But come on, she's still as crazy like today in,
Yeah.
the adult jackets lives. And I just don't know,
So
like she's just a fucking bitch. Don't know, man.
I think we need to see when the writers make it clear what their intention is. But for me, especially in the last few weeks, watching both Shauna performances actually with the idea of thinking that we are meant to hate them has made it like so much better, if that makes sense. Everything has like
Yeah.
fallen in line. Like before, people, because you could be like, oh, this is not the Shauna I know, and the writing is weird because this Shauna is annoying. But then I was like, oh no, actually, if she's meant to be a bad person and a villain, then it all works for me. And maybe it will turn out in the finale or next season that I'm wrong, and then maybe it was bad writing. But for now, going with that intention that she's meant to be a bad person. She's not meant to be like someone we root for, is actually making me watch her a lot more interesting, personally.
Mm.
So let's wrap up the Yellowjacket storyline by talking about Misty. So it's funny because you and I joked about the transponder last week, but I feel like
They need to beat her.
we had this like Mandela effect where we thought that everybody knew that she did it. But I think she
Yeah.
only told Crystal. And that was how Crystal died actually last season. So in this episode, she spies on Van and then realizes that Van is trying to fix the sat phone, and then she realizes that something from the transponder can fix the sat phone. And when she's rummaging through the transponder, Nat sees her, and Nat is like, you fucking have the transponder. And that's when I was like, oh, actually, they didn't know that she had that she broke the transponder. So yeah, I mean, that was obviously, I guess, one secret that's going to come out before the end of the season. It was just interesting to me that we joked about it last week, and we had just put assumed that everybody else knew, which obviously they
But
didn't.
it's crazy that Misty, I mean, I guess this is always what it is. Like, a huge part of this journey is Misty finding belonging by proving herself to be useful, proving herself to
Mm-hmm.
be a hero. Back then when she took the transponder, it was because she finally had like utility to
Mm-hmm.
the people. And, she was like, they were like, okay, they like her because she knows how to do A and she knows how to do B, C, D, E. And so she was like, oh, let's not leave because, I'm finally accepted. They know that I'm good at stuff. And now her being good at stuff is not entirely enough anymore. So now she also wants to be like the savior, like the person that found the transponder, the person that got the piece of the transponder that could attach to the phone and fix it and then takes them
Mm-hmm.
home. And, they don't have to go through Cody and Hannah. She can, like, she's the provider. She's the smart one, the resourceful one, the quick one. Missy fixes things, which is also a theme I think we see in adult Misty, that when something needs to be fixed. So when, when it comes down to resources, Misty is the person that they call. Misty, do you know this? Misty, can you do that? Like something happens, call Misty. She always has the ideas and the method of fixing things. But it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Yeah. I wonder if she's going to. No, obviously she's not going to try and kill Nat because Nat is alive. But I just wonder how. But
Yeah,
I think they need to beat her. That's actually. I think they
just
need to just
one
gather
big beating.
everybody. She should just kneel
The,
down in a circle,
well, the
and
way Shauna
everybody
beat
should slap
Lottie,
her.
or not as
Ye-
bad,
No, 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 not like that. But she deserves it sharp, but not like that. Maybe
not like
because you
that.
can understand where her own is coming from. It's not coming from maliciousness. It's coming from like deep-seated insecurity and wanting to belong. Like,
But she also
you
didn't
know,
know that it was going to be over a year when she did it.
how
Like,
would
obviously,
she?
well,
She
I'm not
wasn't
defending
thinking. She
it.
didn't think. If she
Exactly.
thought, she could have remembered. She could have realized.
True,
It's Misty. She's
true.
literally the smartest one there. She just didn't care.
Um,
Like, she didn't think that far.
she wanted to be, she wanted to be needed. She wanted to be liked. Yeah, it tracks.
Exactly.
So let's go to the thing that I know you've been itching to talk about. Let's talk about
They
the
killed Van.
present. Okay, let's talk about the present storyline. So I'm going to just say a few
Melissa
things.
is a bitch. Sorry.
Can we? This is going to be an episode of you just random ad libs. So I'm going
Yeah.
to say a
Shauna is
few
fucking
quotes
crazy. Sorry.
from our episode last week, and then we'll talk about this episode. So you were
Okay.
like, "Oh, I don't believe her being Melissa for shit." You also
Oh, I
said, "I
was
don't think
right.
she was." You also said, "I don't think she was stalking Shauna to cause Shauna harm," but you said you thought she was the one stalking Shauna. Um, and then I said, "I think Shauna is paranoid, but not to the extent that the show is saying. I do think there's someone following her, and I think the show will prove that she wasn't entirely crazy." So I think those three things, you and I were kind of right in assuming
Yes, for
that.
sure. For sure. Predictions. Snaps. You guys, if you're watching, just do snaps. And I'll
Okay,
know
go
if you
ahead.
didn't snap. Snap.
Talk about what you want to say about Van.
Oh, dear Van. Dear Van, you were loved and you were missed. And I'm so glad that in the face of things, you didn't completely give up your humanity. I mean, after Natalie, you were the next human person. So I'm just glad that, like, when it came down to it, you chose to not be the person that you used to be, and it caused you your death. So it was probably a stupid move, but you believed the best in Melissa. And that's just where, things went to shit. But you can't be blamed for other people's attitudes. And you see that little spoke to you and was like, you're still the hero. And, this is what you needed to do. And you did it. You saved the love of your life. You saved the psychotic bitch, and then you
Who's
got
Shauna?
killed by another psychotic bitch. Yes, didn't she save
Oh,
Shauna? She would have left Shauna to inhale the
yeah. I
carbon
didn't know who you
monoxide
were
and
calling
die.
psychotic bitch.
They're both
Shauna or
psychotic
Melissa.
bitches, both of
Fair.
them. But Melissa played a good game. That I must say. So
So
it's not like you were this stupid person. We almost believed her.
a few things I want to pull out from there. First thing, the fact of you calling both of them psychotic bitches. I hope that with the show apparently painting Melissa as the villain or the person that we've been chasing all season, I hope that doesn't invalidate her criticisms of Shauna. Does that make sense?
It can't. Oh, it can't see.
No,
We
but
are
like
all. It cannot.
eh, not everybody
I
watches
don't think
TV the
so.
way we watch TV. I'm just saying,
I don't
yeah,
think
but like
I don't think so. Because she said facts. And if anything at all, everything she said about Shauna then was proven about Shauna now. And do you know, I think that, let me tell you the truth, I think that perhaps Melissa herself was probably even struggling to just live a normal life and be a normal person. She was trying her very best. But when you make me eat my skin, all bets are off. All bets are off.
so you don't think
Whatever you
you don't think
collect, you
she's the one that
collect.
killed Lottie?
I don't know that I believe. What did they see on that mobile phone? What the fuck did Missy see on that
We
phone?
didn't show. I think Melissa killed Lottie.
Because of what Misty saw on her phone.
Yeah, and also because she says it's what it wants when she kills Van. Like she says,
So,
there
but
we
maybe
wouldn't
it just
slow
wants
down.
one life.
No, but like that.
No, but I feel like she said it because of what Van was saying to her about I have cancer, maybe killing you
Mm-hmm,
will save me, as per
mm-hmm,
life for a life, right?
mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, she can't do it. And so Melissa then kills her. and says it's what it wants. So maybe there's something that Melissa is dealing with that we don't quite know yet, that she
Yes,
also needs a
but
life for her life. I don't necessarily think that that then means she killed Melissa.
just before
What's
that,
her name? Lottie.
Van says something along the lines of, "I can't do it. I can't be that person, or I'm not that
Mm-hmm.
person." And then Melissa says, "Yes, but
But
I
I am.
am," and
Mm-hmm.
then plunges the knife. So I think the implication is that this, like, I think most of what she said last episode, not about Shona, but like about herself, was a lie. I think she has nefarious leanings. Um, and I'm just hoping that like they don't, because you know how when a terrible person says something, you don't take it as seriously because fruit of the poisonous tree. But I'm just like, I hope like, even if Shona doesn't listen, because she wouldn't, but I hope the show makes it clear that they believe that what Melissa was saying was correct about Shona, about Shona's um desires to blow things up when things are not going her way or things like that. I have a very, very, I think at this moment, hot take about the show.
What
And it
is your
came to me
hot
when
take?
Van died.
Yes.
Because if you remember, actually, second, I just remember another thing I want to talk about from your eulogy about Van, because you mentioned about how after Natalie, she was the next human person. And I'm now wondering if, I guess your mileage may vary in terms of Lottie, but I'm wondering if it's the most vulnerable and human people that have been dying. Because first was Travis, who we know was dealing with like a lot of emotional stuff and grief post wilderness, and then I guess it was Nat, who, like we just said, is the most human person and was also dealing with stuff. There's Lottie, who's dealing with her mental health stuff, and then now there's Van, who was dealing with, again, it was human and also dealing with cancer and all that stuff. So, because you remember, after Lottie's death, I had the theory of like, is it the wilderness coming for people? Is it a
Mm.
final destination kind of thing where you quote unquote escaped death in the wilderness and now it's like coming for you one by one? It wants to kind of kill all the survivors one by one. Um, I think we are going to get a um gosh, what's the word? Why is this word just left my head? The space between Earth and, well, I think we're gonna have a purgatory like sequence in the show.
So the plane.
Yes, I think we are going to see everybody that has died again.
Mm.
I feel like the way they're like cutting, unless for example next season is their final season, but like the way they're killing people at such a rapid pace, I think it's like, I don't think the story
But what
ends
would be the
where,
point of the purgatory? What would be
well, I
the
think that's when they go full on supernatural.
so what? So
Like
the people in the purgatory will start avenging and hunting people that are
I don't
alive
know.
like
Oh, I
Shona?
don't know. Oh, I don't know what the storyline
Because I
is
would
there. I'm just
fucking hate
saying.
that. I just think
No,
that would be, I would just be like, what the fuck are you doing? And
I
why are
don't
you,
know.
like, what is this? Ghosts of Nollywood.
No. So I don't know what the storyline is going to be in that kind of sequence. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know if the story ends where the present storyline ends. If that makes sense. Like I feel
Mm.
for example, I think we see older Van again. I think we see older Nat again. I feel like because so young Nat.
I
So
want
first
to
of all,
see older Travis. All these
yeah.
references to Travis that we don't see, I want to see older Travis. Did
So
we ever
yeah,
see older Travis?
we saw him in like flashbacks in season 2 when Lottie's talking about like him calling her and like even
So
this
they
his
show him
death.
calling her.
Yeah, but it's all from Lottie's point of view, so we don't actually know how
So
much
we
of it
don't,
is
do we
true.
see him?
We see him, yeah, yeah.
Really? I don't recall what he looks like.
So in the plane, older Van is telling younger Van, she says, "Why would you send me in there when you know I was going to die?" And then young Van says, "It wasn't my call." Right? As
Uh,
on nothing, I'm like, okay, whose call is it? And then she says, "Surviving this was never our reward." To which older Van replies, "If this isn't the end, then tell me what happens." And young Van replies, "Where will be the fun in that?" Which is why I feel like there is something. I don't know if it's I don't
Yeah,
know. I
that
don't know if it's
whole we're up here watching, and also the fact that it's like a cinema this thing.
yeah, I think that was to go more in line with their love of film and everything. So they're watching the film
Mm,
on a plane. But I just feel like there is another layer to the story that we don't know yet. I think these deaths are not like I don't think anybody's gonna come back to life. Let me be clear. But I
mm-hmm,
think like these deaths are not the final points we see these characters or these actors more specifically,
mm,
because they've essentially killed three adult characters in 10 episodes, right?
mm-hmm,
Nat, Lottie, and now Van. And it's just like I feel like you only kill guys at such a rapid pace if maybe one, the season's ending next season, the show's ending next season, or two, like you plan on seeing them again. Like there's more to the story beyond death. That's
mm-hmm,
like that's where I can put it. There is more to the story beyond death. That's
mm-hmm.
what I think might be the thing. I don't know. I don't know. It was just something that came to mind. I was like, I just feel like there is another layer to this story that we haven't seen yet. And I think
Yeah,
maybe when they do, if they do when they do lean in full into the supernatural explanation, then that will kind of open up the grounds
mm,
of things. Because yeah, I don't know. They could be yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't really explain it, but I just feel like there's another layer there that we don't know that is really fully supernatural. The way these characters are dying, and like even some of the things that the show has done, shows that like these deaths were always intentional. Like for example, the fact that we see Lottie, where Lottie dies, we see a premonition of that. I think in season 2 when
mm-hmm,
Lottie's having premonitions, or even like the whole Nat's death by Misty's hands was kind of foreshadowed in the pilot. I don't know. I feel like these deaths were always part of the story.
mm-hmm.
So, but also, I have to admit that this is me holding on to this. I hope this is the case, because if it's not the case, then I really hate the fact that they're killing these characters so quickly.
Yeah,
Like, because so I can admit that this is also me just hoping that this is the truth, because like obviously I was upfront about not liking the Nat's death. I didn't really care for Adult Lottie, but I didn't think it made sense story wise. And then this Van
mm-hmm.
one is just like
A
we
bit
can't
too
just be killing off
taking
our
it too
characters.
far.
Yeah, so I have to hope that there is more to the story than just like this is the
Well, I
end of
have to
Van's
watch
story.
episode 10 immediately after this because I just want to know like Wagwan and what did she see on the phone and all of these things. Um,
Yeah, so I think in episode 10, I think we get explanations for who, like, we'll get confirmation of who killed Lottie, all of that stuff. I don't think we'll get confirmations for my own theory in this season.
you
Like, I
never
think
know. We could get something that pushes it a little bit further or like
maybe
a clue or
it
something. It
is,
might not be like
maybe,
yeah, exactly. It might not be like
maybe.
the whole thing. But no, that scene with Melissa was crazy actually. Like that's crazy. And also Bankole, you might be right. Bankole, you might
Why?
be
What
right
happened?
because if Van didn't come back inside,
Mm-hmm,
out of three of them, Ty, Shauna, and Melissa. Melissa was the only one that was still like moving a little bit.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So maybe she would have left the house and just let Shauna and Ty
Yeah,
die.
she was crawling to the door when
I just remember that.
yeah. And even before that, and on my rewatch, I noticed that like Melissa was really kind of watching them. Like there was a
Mm,
point when Misty is like, "Oh, Taisa, you're going to support Sean," and Melissa's going to be like, "Of course she is." I think obviously referencing their time in the
mm-hmm,
wilderness.
mm-hmm,
Um, and even when I think when Misty is like, basically, "I'm not going to help you," like you can see Melissa kind of looking like, "Okay, so these are the power dynamics. This is who is no longer friends with this
mm-hmm,
person," kind of thing. I was just kind of really assessing it. So I was like, "Oh, I don't think she was an innocent person in this. I think she definitely, yeah." And again, you said like she lied about the notes. If she did lie about
mm-hmm.
that, so it's just, I think there's something there. And but it's just like the thing is like right now where we are in the wilderness storyline, she's not like really full on Team Lottie so we don't know what's gonna happen. Again, we don't know what happens in the next 4 months. I think the next 4 months are kind of like gonna be the most harrowing for them in the past, because it's gonna be winter. I think it's
Again,
now
and
they're
they,
gonna
they
start.
don't want to do another winter.
Yeah, they don't, man. And I feel for them. Akila was just like, I hope I'm the one that dies because I can't do that again. And Yeah.
That was really funny. I laughed.
Uh,
I didn't, something
yeah.
that makes me feel a bit weird about this show as well. It's like some of the things that I laugh about, I'm just like, am I a bad person? Because why is that funny?
I will not answer that question. I plead the fifth.
I'm a good person if you like say whatever rubbish because I asked you a question.
That moment of like self-doubt lasted like 5 seconds. It's just
Self doubt what? No such thing. No such thing. Okay. I want to see if there's anything else that really jumped out at me in this episode. Also, Misty needs to not fuck around with this guy too much. We haven't spoken
why.
about Jeff showing. I don't know. I just feel like don't overdo it. Right now he really, really likes you. Don't
Mm-hmm.
overdo it. Like, don't
Is this
overdo it
because is
before.
this because of how rich he is?
No, not just how rich he is, but you could see he actually cares for her
Yeah, he does.
in
He
a way
does. Yeah.
that's like is like I haven't seen anybody just genuinely care for her like that. And I mean, we've said it before, she doesn't know what to do with that. She's not used to it, so she's just pushing it away and
Yeah,
rejecting it.
it's one of the reasons I've been like some of the theories about Walter online. I've also never put them. I'm a very bad theory podcaster. If anyone doesn't know, which is why I don't really talk about them on the podcast because I just don't care. But like one of them was that like Hannah was, or even before we knew like Hannah and Edwin, that's Delson Franklin, the guy that got the axe in his head, that they were Walter's parents. And like
Mm,
Walter kind of found out about this and was talking to the other. And I'm just like, I do think that Walter is very on board with Misty. I don't think he has any like ulterior motives. Like to your point of like,
I don't think that him being on board with Misty negates any ulterior motives that he may have initially had. I think he may have
I,
come to her or stalked her with ulterior motives and then started getting to know her and then saw like,
but
okay,
that's still
she's
fucked up
just a
though.
girl who's just feeling this way. I guess I still
But
kind of like her.
I would rather them just being like two true crime weirdos who just have a lot of
Mm,
free time and for what a lot of free money. Um, you want to talk about Jeff and Callie and Jeff's. I remember watching that scene, just like, oh, he's so good. Like he's the guy's going through it, man. He's so stressed out. Hey, he's just tired of Shauna's antics. And fair, I get it. What did you want to say about Jeff getting high with his daughter before we wrap up?
I thought it was funny. Because at first he was trying to teach her like me, I'm a smoker. That's too high. And then he took his drag and moved. And he's like, no, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. And I just laughed. I was just like, oh, how interesting. And then the crying bit. He's really struggling.
He's,
Honestly, he's really. Oh, I felt so bad. I wanted to
he's
give him a hug. I said, "Oh my God, he's." And his daughter just like saying, "No, Dad, it's okay." I said, "Oh my God,
and
please,"
I do think
because he
this is
tries to
the,
put such a brave face.
yeah, no, I do think this is the clearest example of the show telling us that Shauna is not a good person.
No, but
Because they
that's it
keep,
now. They've said it before.
yeah, no, but they keep, well,
The
not
marriage is
everybody watches
hard. I'm
TV.
being married to your mom.
Because they keep coming back to Jeff and Kylie to show how much Shauna's behavior is
She's not
hurting
a
them.
good
And
person. Yeah,
yeah, and like I don't
because
think you could, yeah. Go
and
ahead, go ahead.
I just feel like he has said to her, I kind of accept all of you just like that. Just communicate with me at the very least. Like,
Mm-hmm,
be
mm-hmm.
upfront and honest with me. But I don't think she trusts him,
But
especially
like,
after he did that thing with her journals.
but that was
I
like
don't
the
think.
start. Do you know what has happened since? Like, if at this
Yeah, she still
point,
just doesn't trust him now. She's not a
he's been
trustworthy
through,
person.
he stayed through her
Rather,
killing
she's not a
Adam
trusting
Martin.
person.
Yeah, she's not a trusted person. He basically aids and abets the murder of a police officer and the blackmail of another one. And like you're still not trusting him at that point. Yeah, we'll have to cite irreconcilable differences because what
And
is it?
divorce. She
What
would
do you want
rather
from me
kill
again?
you than you divorce her, though.
She will rather kill him. She will rather kill him. Yeah, I don't think when you watch the show, like, oh, maybe Shauna is not the person that we should be rooting for. I think it kind of takes, and I hope the show sticks with that. I just don't want them to do something like, we're joking, Shauna is actually a good person. No, I think they should really dig their heels in here, because I do think that's not only is it the more interesting thing, I think it's actually the more honest portrayal of what we're seeing here, because
Yeah.
Shauna is
Also,
doing
like
something, man.
anything to the contrary would actually just be them gaslighting us.
Yeah, true.
Because
That's
what do you
true. Yeah.
mean? What have we been seeing since? Stop it
Um,
immediately.
if God forbid, but if this is the last time we see Van, and like my theory is completely wrong, and like the story ends where the story ends here, would you have any final thing you want to say about Van? Let's do adult
Watch it.
Van, since we still have time to spend with young Van.
I guess just in your next life, don't be too trusting of people and their
Just
intentions.
yeah, she was so cool though. Like
She
I think
was.
I said it before we knew she was going to
I
die.
just thought
Like
she was just
at this
so cool.
yeah, at this point, at many points this season, she was the only adult like character that I really cared apart from, as an out of the Yellowjackets, the only adult character that I really cared
Did
about
you remember how excited I was when we saw her in her when they came to her store? Oh,
last
that's
season. Yeah.
fun! No, yeah.
Um, I've always okay. I've just yeah. I thought she was kind of the most interesting part of the adult storyline at many points this season.
She just wanted to
I
be
think
a
it's
good
cool.
person.
Yeah, and I do think it's cool that like she she died, like you said earlier, she died by doing something heroic, right? She saved her friend, she saved the love of her life. Which, side note, considering what the way Taisa is behaving in the past, I just don't even understand
Yeah, and also
how they stay together.
the fact that she just knew that it was the right tie, and she was like, "It's me."
Yeah,
She's like, "Oh my God, it's you!" But also the fact that she also still loved evil Ty. She just
it's
knew
all
that.
part of Taya, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know that cave scene with other Taya and Taisa. I didn't talk about it because one, I thought it was weird, and I didn't really enjoy it.
I mean,
But
it
two,
was kind of like the hospital scene now.
yeah, but it was just I don't know, the like part of like Taisa jumping on her and like fighting just seemed, it was funny. It was like I was like, okay, sure. But to me, that kind of helped my idea of like we're gonna see more of a purgatory
More,
like
yeah.
stance, because I was like, the fact that they went back to the cave that they had these kind of premonitions in the wilderness,
Uh,
just felt like there's still some, and that scene was so short. I was like, oh, there's still something pulling, like there's something else, there's another layer to this story that we haven't quite reached yet. um Anything that you want to be solved in the finale, or anything that you want to get answers
I
to?
just want to know who was following this babe, and I want to know what Misty saw on the phone. That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I think those two things would definitely be confirmed, along with who
How
killed
about you?
Lottie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Um,
obviously the big whodunit.
I feel like, I don't know if I want to know, but I feel like we're going to have an answer about who burned the cabin, because I don't think the show wants us to think it's Coach Ben, even though I still think it's Coach Ben. But I feel like there might be a different person there that we don't know. So it'd be weird because we haven't talked about it for like three episodes, but I feel like we might go back to that. Um, I'm intrigued to know whether Hannah dies this season. I think she does, but I want to see like.
No, I don't think so because maybe actually, because they make the statement about how she got very close to someone before she died. Was it Melissa?
So you think there's still time for that? Didn't go. It was Jen and Melissa,
Uh-huh.
and obviously we've
I
seen her
think
talking to
this.
Melissa already. But I guess now that she probably won't be a prisoner anymore, she'll be part of the group.
Yeah.
So
And also
there are some
because of Melissa
theories.
and Shauna's fallout, I also think
Yeah,
there's a bit more time that Hannah has. Because
fair.
we still
There's a
need to have
theory.
the parts where Hannah is giving her the cassette or the whatever. And
Yeah, she tells her where it is. She doesn't give it to her. But yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a theory. I don't know how public this theory is, but like it's kind of just been maybe a low theory that like she's the one that we see at the beginning of the show running through, and if that falls into the pits, because all we really see is like the
Oh,
hair.
the pit that Travis. Oh, it's possible.
Yeah,
When they are
so that
hunting.
could, yeah, when they're hunting somebody and then like Misty's people eat. So yeah, I don't know. I think based on some images, I think we might see this. Obviously, we saw the snow this episode, but I think we might see like the real start of winter next episode. So,
I've
um,
even put my episode 10, so I'll just watch it immediately after this.
Jesus Christ.
Uh,
Okay, and I'm sure you text me things and I won't reply, so don't text me any spoilers.
uh,
Um,
no, maybe you'll just put me in archive because I'll probably text you the spoilers anyway.
then I'll probably put you in archive. Why do you have to text
Okay.
me? Just put in your drafts.
No, why would I do that? I just want to talk about it now. Spoilers are actually not that big a thing, for goodness sake. Like, what is it? Like, you don't, I've made a statement to you. Do you know the dramatic effect of that statement? Have you seen how it has been
The statement
acted
means a lot
out?
to me. The statement means a lot to me because it removes a
I
part
mean,
of the experience.
it does not.
Yes, it does. For me, at least. Okay, let me just speak for myself. It means a part of the experience
Do you
because
know
the
what I
surprise
was
is the
doing
experience.
the other day? The other day I was singing that song that we learned in Lola Union. Do you know it?
Which one?
Um,
Do you want to tell the
give
listeners
me
what
the
Loyola Union
desire.
is? Do you want to tell the listeners what Loyola Union is?
Okay, Loyola Union is this, I want to say, society that was formed in our secondary school in honor of the 60 kids that died in the Sicily plane crash in 2005. So what the Loyola Union used to do,
I'd
we
never
used
put
to,
that together.
yeah, no, you didn't
I'd
know.
never. No, I never put that thematic connection together with
Okay.
Yellowjackets.
Oh, okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, I didn't even
The plane
put that,
crash.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but so every year we would do like a play or like a musical um in, I think it was always in around December,
December. Yeah.
in honor of them, and we did it in this building called the Memorial Hall, which was also built to honor
So
their
much extra
memory with all their
information.
photos and whatever. So that's what Loyola Union is. Bankole used to act in Loyola Union, so did I. And some of our other friends. So there's one specific musical that we did. I don't remember the name of the musical, but there's this scene that is basically, so this guy has been cheating on his wife or something. Abi, he had a side chick, but he needed to marry, and I think he couldn't marry her or something. I don't remember. But anyway, there was this scene where he's coming back from work or something, and he looks so down. She's asking him, oh, if he's going to eat. And he says, oh, and he's just looking so sad. And she's like, okay, so will he eat that one or will he basically eat her boobs? Hotter than he left them, fuller and very firm. And he says, no. Let me try and sing it. I don't remember the bit before that, but I just remember the, and hotter than he left them, fuller and very firm. And then he goes, no, they can wait. And then she goes, so what should I do, my soulmate? And then he says, nothing. And then she goes, then there must be something. And then he now goes into this monologue. There comes a time. The something of one, the other the love of one, the other deprives.
How long is this song?
No, I'm done. That's just the
Okay.
only part I could remember.
I do remember this. I don't remember this at all.
So basically, we had to learn the whole musical as like a group. And I mean, to be honest, I thought that was like unique to Loyola Union, but I also did drama in sixth form. And in sixth form, I had to also, for the 2 years that I acted, I also had to learn everybody's lines, which actually proved useful because there was one time in one scene, someone like blanked out and forgot her line. So I had I had to incorporate her lines as mine for my role to give her the cues so that she could then,
Fair.
yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so that I just remembered as I speak to Bakali now that I was just yesterday, I think it was yesterday. I can't remember. I was doing brushing my teeth or something, and then it just popped into my head.
Singing a song about the guy who didn't want to.
The guy who refused
I can't even use the words.
boobs.
I can't even say it.
And it just also, it was just funny. He said, hotter. And I remember the acting. I don't remember who acted it, but I remember the person that acted it literally like grabbed her boobs and went like, hotter than you left them.
Oh God, we were like 15. Like, like we were 15. This should not have been the case. Anyway,
That's crazy. Bankole, cut this out.
nope. All 4 or 5 minutes are gonna stay in. It's the end. No one listens to the end anyways. Guys, thank
People
you very
do.
much
Don't
for
say that. Our
listening.
listeners listen to the end. Fuck you,
They do.
Bankole. Guys, don't mind him. If you listen to the end, just type in the
Stop.
comment fuller and very firm. If you listen to the end, just type
Jesus Christ, stop.
just type fuller and very firm in the comments, and we'll
Oh
know
gosh.
that
Okay.
you're a true OG of Popcorn for Dinner Pod.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dumebi, for eliciting R-rated comments on my video. Thank you very much to our
fine.
listeners.
Type "There comes a time."
No. Type full and very firm. Sex sells.
Bankole. This is not what we discuss on this podcast.
Don't worry. Sorry, this is the wrong page. That's my other page. Thank you very much, Dumebi. We're almost
You're
done.
welcome.
2 months of podcasting. Thank you very much.
Also, I need a list of new shows to watch. I just finished Yellowstone. I don't think I finished it pata pata. I just finished the seasons on Netflix. I know I'm late to Yellowstone, but
no, just
whatever.
you watching Yellowstone is so funny. Like, I'm just imagining
Guess
you
who
watching
my
Yellowstone.
favorite characters are?
I don't watch Yellowstone. I don't know.
You never watched it?
Not really, no.
Why? You thought it was
I don't
trash?
No. I think I was a bit late to it, and I was just like, okay. Like, it's not. It's not really something that will immediately fall into my purview. I have nothing against it. I know people love it, and I like the creator of it, like some of his shows and his movies, but I just never got into Yellowstone.
What other show did the creator do?
Well, there's so many Yellowstone like prequels and sequels. There's
Really?
1923. There's 1883.
Oh, so about the Dutton father, grandfather, great grandfather.
Yeah.
Are they on Netflix?
That. I don't actually know. We can talk about this all offline. Thank you very much for listening, guys. And yeah, we'll be back next week for the season finale of Yellowjackets.
You're so rude.
How is that rude?
Tim can talk about this offline. Why don't you just tell him to shut the fuck up?
That. I didn't say it like that. I didn't say it like that.
You say so.
Thank you much for maybe say bye.
Okay, hello friends.
I just said say bye.
I just want to say, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Listen on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Podcasts for Junkies, or whatever that other one is. Talk about us on X. Sorry, talk about us on Instagram. Talk about X. Talk about us on Instagram. Talk about us on TikTok. Post about us on Reddit. Comment. Put your theories down. As you know, Bankole reads everything and comments and everything. We love your hot takes. Send to your friends and to your family, and see you next week for episode 10. Goodbye and farewell.
Bye, guys. See you next week with Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel. How many times did I call your name?